Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to episode 275 of the Drunk Dashers podcast. I'm your host, as always. I am Tyler. Joining me, we have the man, the myth, the legend himself, Sir Colonel Gables. What's up, buddy?
Hey, Tyler, I'm doing all right. Let's get down to the nitty gritty.
Yes.
Nintendo stuff.
Oh, yeah. So, we're here to talk about the final press conference of E3 2018, and that was Nintendo. So, we're just going to do like we have every other press conference or recording we've done of this. We're going to run through everything announced, and we're going to talk about what our thoughts were on everything at the end. Start off with a Damon Cross Machina.
Yes.
Coming 2019, a lot of the devs from that worked on the Armored Core franchise, and is a mech game. Then next off, Xenoblade Chronicles 2 is getting an expansion called Torna Golden Country. It's coming out September 14th. I believe it's, from what I understand, some of the stuff was announced after this fact, but it's a standalone expansion. It's $40, or you can buy a pack. It's like you get the game and the expansion for $60 if you don't already own it. Next up, we got Pokemon Let's Go. All they showed off in the direct was the Pokeball Plus. That's the only way to get Mew. He's exclusive to the Pokeball Plus, which is $50 on its own, or there's a bundle with the game and the Pokeball for $100. But there's a bunch of stuff actually shown off afterwards at the treehouse. So Pikachu rides on your shoulder, Eevee rides on your head, and both of those characters are exclusive to the version that you buy them for, so you can't get them in the other one unless you get them, I believe, through Pokemon Go on your phone. Then that's the only way you can have them on both of them on one game. You can pick one Pokemon to follow you around as well. So like you can have. So I'm gonna get Pikachu version. So Pikachu will be on my shoulder, and you can pick, like in the gameplay they showed of it at the treehouse, they had Charmander walking behind them. So you can always have one other one with you too. So come to find out, you do actually still earn experience points like normal for the game, but you earn in like for the wild Pokemon, you do get XP for that as well. You get XP for catching Pokemon. The XP share is back. Wild Pokemon will have like an aura around them and with different colors. So if it has a red aura around it, it means it's smaller. If it has a blue aura around it, it means it's bigger. And then if there's a white one, it just means it's an average size Pokemon. The bigger they are, the more experience points you get for catching them. You do have a rival in this one, but his name was Tracy this time. But he's more of a friendly. He's not so much of an enemy. He's more friendly in this version. Apparently, he scares easily. And you do have to have certain Pokemon types to fight the gym leaders. So in the video they showed, you went to go face Brock. They wouldn't let you in to face him unless you had a water type or a Pokemon type. So you have to have, and I believe he's a rock type. So it sounds like if you go in any of the gyms, you have to have a Pokemon with a weakness against him to go along. Next up, they revealed Super Mario Party is coming. You can play with 4 Joy-Cons and 2 Switches, so people were like combining their Switches together to play the game. So like one of them, it showed like someone was like playing baseball. So one person on their Switch was throwing the baseball, and the other person on the other side was the batter and hitting it. So and then there was another game where like they had the characters were playing like in tanks, and they actually went from one Switch to the other on their screen. So that's kind of cool. Comes out October 5th. No online has been announced so far. Fire Emblem is it's called Three Houses. It's coming spring 2019. A lot of gameplay shown for that. It is the first party game delayed on the Switch.
Huh.
That was kind of an interesting fact. That every game they've announced so far has come out in the time they said it would come out, and this is the first one not to. And there's more after that though too. The worst kept secret in gaming this week is Fortnite is out today, and funnily enough, it has built-in chat for it. You don't use it. You can plug like your headphones into the auxiliary port on your Switch and chat with your friends without using the phone app. So yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Which is cool. And kind of a shitty thing though that's going on is if you have a Fortnite account and it's tied to your PS4 at all, then you cannot use that account on any other console. So even if you have a bunch of money that you've spent, because it's free download, if you spent any real money on this game or you have any money in your account on that game, you can't take it over to the Switch. You can't. It doesn't cross over with that, which is pretty shitty. But if you have it on the Xbox or the PC, then you can cross them over and it's no problem. So someone like me who's actually spent money on the game and has money in his account on that game, it's all stuck to PS4. Overcooked 2 was announced. Comes out August 7th. There will be online play. There's a whole montage of stuff coming up here. Killer Queen Black, which is a hugely popular arcade game, is coming this year, and it will have online. It's a 4v4 game. It looks like you get like these balls, and you got to take them over to your side of the court, and first team to get X amount wins. It looks pretty fun. Hollow Knight is actually out on the Switch today. I know Gables, you're looking forward to that one.
Oh, definitely.
Yeah, it came out on Steam last year, and it's been a very popular game. Well talked about, well received. Then there's a new demo coming out on Thursday for Octopath Traveler. So, and anything you do in that carries over to the main game as well. There's a montage of a bunch of other games, stuff most of it we already knew about. But the only real thing that was revealed out of it is Dragon Ball FighterZ is coming to the Switch this year.
Yes.
So that's cool. And then we got down to the Super Smash Brothers part of the show. This was the rest of the direct. It is officially called Super Smash Brothers Ultimate. So I kind of just typed a bunch of notes out as it was going on, so I might kind of repeat myself in some of these. But Ice Climbers is back. Inklings, they showed some gameplay for them. That was already announced. Pokemon Trainer is returned. Snake is back. Put that in all caps. Every character is back. So every character ever from the Smash Brothers franchise is now back in this game. So they even brought Pichu's back, Youngling's back. They're all back. Wolf is back. They said only 8 characters will be available at the beginning of the game, but they streamlined it so unlocking characters. The Mii fighters might be usable online. They said they're going to try to make that happen, but no guarantees. They announced Echo Fighters. So, like, was it Pit and Dark Pit are just like Echo Fighters, essentially? I'm not quite sure what that means.
Essentially what it means is basically there's a character that they model the Echo Fighters after. So, for example, for Peach, Peach for a long time and stuff was an individual like character and stuff, but today with the unveiling of Daisy is an Echo Fighter of Peach, meaning that she is quintessentially a clone fighter, but is modeled and more characteristic to Daisy, pretty much.
Yeah. Okay. So it's kind of like before they made Dark Pit and the Wii U version. Dark Pit was like a costume choice in the Wii version.
Yep.
In Brawl, so that's basically what it sounds like. It kind of is. So Daisy is now available in the game. You can play as her it's basically as a Peach clone. Basically, kind of how I think like Star Fox and Wolf are basic clones of each other. Yep. Or Wolf is a clone of Star Fox.
Yes.
Bomberman is an assist trophy. That was kind of the one key thing that came out of the trophies. They showed off the Splatoon map for the game, stage for the game. Grand Plateau Tower stage from Breath of the Wilds in the game. You can use the GameCube controllers for this as well. All the amiibos from the Smash Brothers from the last console will be usable, and you can carry over anything you've done with those characters on your amiibo to this game. Said don't expect too many more new fighters, new characters in this game. Then it ended with Ridley is a playable character. It was the main foe from Metroid, and it's out December 7th. So other details came out. 66 characters at launch so far. Run 60 frames per second, docked and importable. 75 stages confirmed so far. And then there's some stuff after the conference that was revealed. Nothing like major, nothing amazing. Ridley, Daisy, and there's a new Inkling amiibo were shown. More Yoshi news was Bill Trent came out and said that there's going to be more news on Yoshi, the Switch game, later this year, but on the Nintendo website it's listed for 2019. The Octo expansion for Splatoon 2 is out tomorrow.
Damn.
There was a new Octo 3-pack of amiibo coming later this year. More stages, weapons, and gears updates will be coming to Splatoon 2 through the end of the year. Initially, they were only going to support it until I think mid-July. It'd be the 1-year anniversary of the game, but they've actually pushed it out an additional 5 months. The GameCube controller adapter is being re-released for $20, which I think they kind of had to do. So yeah, that was everything that was shown off at the press conference. So Gables, what did you think of Nintendo's Direct?
Oh my gosh. There was a hell of a lot of information in this direct. I mean, I kind of figured that they would be headlining Smash Brothers, but I did not know that they were going to literally take almost like the entire half of their rest of their half of their conference just to cover it in that painstaking detail. I mean, that was a huge surprise to me.
Mm-hmm.
But okay, to start off with, when they opened up the Nintendo Direct and stuff, I was kind of thinking to myself, like, what's this Machina game? It's like it seems so familiar. Then I look at I look at the title, Daemon X Machina, and I checked out a little bit into it. It's like some of the makers are the same makers that made the Armor Core games. That's pretty damn interesting. Because the game in and of itself looks very fast, very intense and stuff, and I actually am looking forward to this because it looks like a freaking amazing like mecha slash fighter that I probably will be interested in.
Yeah.
I thought the Xenoblade Chronicles 2 expansion, that was pretty cool. Yeah, I thought it was pretty cool. I still need to get into Xenoblade Chronicles 2 though, but it's gonna be a while.
Yeah.
The Pokemon Let's Go stuff, it is what it is. I like the little changes here and there, but I've already spoken ad nauseum when they were released. Like the news first broke on them. When it comes to Super Mario Party, well, it wasn't really too exciting for me. I mean, I like Mario Party games and stuff like that, but this one didn't really scratch any itches or something like that. They look like they're going back to a traditional sort of like mini game sort of styling, but yeah, unless I have like people to play it with, and unless there is actually online components and not just co-op only, I don't know if I'm sure if I would pick that up. But I think it's pretty cool that they are going with another Mario Party. Now, what's interesting here is the delayment of Fire Emblem Three Houses. For Fire Emblem and stuff, yeah, for Fire Emblem, I liked what they showed so far, like with some of their moody sort of their moody cutscene trailer and stuff. It looks like it's going to be a little bit more darker than the norm, which hey, I'm open to that. Fire Emblem can be a pretty dark series in terms of it's in terms of like some of the subject matter that they do go into in some past games. But what I am interested in is what are they going to do with some of the explorational elements here. It seems like it's some of the gameplay that they did show that you were actually traveling along like a set course or set path to explore inside of like some sort of housing area or whatever. That's kind of new in essence because there's nothing like that I've seen in past Fire Emblem games that would that had something similar. But the gameplay wise, the whole grid based combat looks a little bit more evolved and a little bit more like detailed for this version for the Switch. Other than that, let's see, Fortnite. Hey, Fortnite's Fortnite. I may try it eventually. Overcooked 2. Hey, that's a good surprise, and it's going to be out relatively soon, which that's a double surprise for me. Killer Queen Black. I've never heard of this game until today. Apparently, it was a very popular some arcade style game that was going on a while ago, but it looks pretty cool and intense, and I think that'll be a fun game to pick up. Let's see, Hollow Knight. Hell, I've heard people ranting and raving about Hollow Knight, how good it is, and the fact that it's out on Switch today. Hey, I'm gonna download it and I'm gonna try it out. Octopath Traveler and stuff. Yeah, that was kind of cool. The new demo coming out June 14th. What I did like though was the montage thing, and all of a sudden at the end of that montage you have Dragon Ball Fighter Z. I'm like, yes, this is definitely a game that should have been on Switch from the get go. But man, I'm so glad it's coming out. Though I'm kind of surprised that there wasn't a concrete date, and it's just it's sort of like a target. Oh, okay, it's coming in 2018. There's gonna be more to announce. Now I gotta say, all of the Super Smash Bros. Stuff, I'm absolutely excited that every single character from the past games are making it back into this version. Playing as Solid Snake, playing as freaking ice climbers, and all the other various fighters from past games. That is amazing to me. As a matter of fact, what blew me away, this is the only game that I've seen so far, that's actually I've seen in the entirety from E3, where they showed this game in painstaking detail upon what they addressed in sort of fan service, like different things from control styles to advanced techniques to what type of like what kind of controller you're going to want to play it on or something like that, if you want to play it on specific things, the characters, the way that the Echo Fighter stuff is going to be represented and stuff, the introduction of a character that had actually a couple of characters that have been wanted by Smash fans for years, being like Daisy and Ridley. Ridley completely caught me off guard. I'll tell you what, it's like I've heard like the excuses over the years of Ridley not being included based upon like some fans. It's like, oh, he's too big for the game. Oh, he's do this, don't do that. But I gotta say, once he was unveiled and it looked like some sort of freaking sinister like alien versus like freaking alien trailer or something like that, where like he takes out Mega Man and it looked like he just skewers Mario. It's like, holy shit.
He put his tail through Mega Man.
Yeah, that was fucking brutal.
He killed Mario.
Bowser's
Bowser's got to be embarrassed. He's been trying to do it for 30 years, and Ridley did it in 2 seconds.
Exactly. But oh man, just the movesets, the everything else, Ridley in action, that looked fluid. That looked so fucking good. Oh boy. But the biggest surprise is the game release date. I for sure thought it was going to be coming out, like saying in October, but no, it comes out in early December. I mean, holy crap. They must have something else they're trying to plug away at with this thing still. And it's here it is, it's June. And it's going to take another 6 months for this thing to come out and like be done. They must be really trying to just get everything, like just dot their I's, cross their T's, and just like work every little bit of stuff. And that's not everything to this game. We don't know the exact, we don't even know there's any more fighters coming into there, which I know they have gone on record, Nintendo has been saying that they don't expect too many more fighters to be announced. Which, to be perfectly honest, I think that they're probably going to be maybe, I would say, maybe 2, possibly like maybe 4 fighters possibly announced. That's just speculating. But overall, for the amount of information and the amount of stuff that happened during this Direct, there were some clear omissions that I saw. First, I know that you're not going to please everyone in terms of like the announcements, as Nintendo does all their various directs here and there and stuff. I'm very surprised that they did not say anything on Metroid Prime 4. I'm also very surprised that we didn't hear any type of like rumblings or something like that of possible Animal Crossing stuff. But Nintendo has so much stuff, and they've already gone through like so many previous announcements and stuff. And even after E3, they have a record now, the past like 5 years, of announcing things like almost directly right after fucking E3. In some regard. Oh boy. From what we ended up seeing, from what was demonstrated gameplay-wise, I thought that it was almost... I thought the way that it was presented was pretty good too. Because it was just bang, bang, bang to the point and stuff. It wasn't like anything that you had to wait for, like in Sony's press conference. It wasn't nothing that was considerably boring for an extended period of time, like in like just reveal trailers and that's it, or something like that, like how Microsoft did. But I think, in terms of a rating, whew, my gosh, I think it actually is almost on par to where like Sony's was. Because, well, here's the thing. The difference between what Nintendo showed in the Direct in comparison to, say, Sony's press conference or even like Microsoft's press conference, there are a lot of games releasing this year. I know there are a lot of games releasing this year, with a couple that are going to be scheduled for like the next year that they did announce, like Fire Emblem, like Three Houses and stuff. But if I had to give a rating, I would say that it just edges out Sony's with an 8.5 out of 10.
Wow. Okay. All right. Okay. Oh, cool then. So for me, that Damon Machina across Machina game, I thought the whole time like, oh, this is like a new Platinum game, and I'm just saying, I'm like, oh, is this like is this gonna be like the B team, the C. Because every time I see like hearing about a new Platinum game, I'm just like, what team is it? Is it the Bayonetta guy? It's just like yesterday when they I can't remember what it was now, the other Platinum game they showed off. But I'm just like, is it the B team? Is it the C team? Is it the TMNT guys? Is it the Near Automata people? But no, I don't know. I've never heard of this group before. It feels like one of those like weird partnerships they got like a lot like they did on the last with the Wii U. Where it's like they had just some weird like they had that one weird Russian shooter game and there's a couple other ones too, like that horror game with the camera, Fatal Frame. It's like this feels like one of those like maybe this game was like a Wii U game or something and it kept getting pushed out. So it's like well we saw this partnership so it's coming to the Switch, but I don't know. It looked interesting. Not really a mech guy, unless Kojima makes it, and then I'm vaguely interested. I'm talking about Zone of the Enders there. Xenoblade Chronicles 2. I don't. That's cool for those people that want more of that. It's kind of like of all the big first party exclusives. That's kind of like the one that's kind of really got the least amount of attention for it. So, but I know there's a hardcore fan base behind it. So. The people that are getting a new expansion, especially so soon. 9 months since the game came out,
right?
And if you don't have the game, it sounds like you can play it on its own. So it probably tells me it's a pretty meaty expansion. Pokemon Let's Go. I was a little disappointed that was kind of like all we got for it. And this, all they had was the Pokeball Plus thing, and that was with Mew, and that was the only announcement for it. All the other stuff was after the fact. But the details we did get. Make me very happy with the experience stuff. That was always my concern is how is that going to work and find out you still get experience points and that's still going to be an important part of the game. Makes me very happy. Super Mario Party. If the Joy-Con thing is kind of like a thing you have to do. That I don't know. That kind of sucks on the motion control stuff, but I that's what those are party games. They're it's made for anybody, so it makes sense to do that. If it doesn't have online, that's gonna be a huge head scratcher to me. Especially when you're trying to sell a online service that comes out a couple weeks before this.
Yeah.
It's kind of funny to think that possibly a Mario Party game might be the first big game that's online only or online. The big selling game for Nintendo is Mario Party for online services, but I hope it does. I think it makes the most sense. It makes sense to do it. That'd be the only way I would ever buy that game.
Yep.
Is to have the online. It's like you, me, and Justin and his girlfriend or something. We could all play online.
Yep.
That'd be cool. How's it going to work for some of those games if you don't have multiple Switches? Who knows? We'll hear more, I'm sure, about it once it comes out.
That actually does sound pretty amazing, honestly.
Yeah. The Fire Emblem thing, I was surprised to see it got delayed. We were talking about it on Saturday about on episode 268, 45 podcasts ago, that I was trying to figure out what's the release calendar going to look like the rest of the year for the Switch. I'm like, is Yoshi an August game? Is this the October game? No, it is it's the 2019 game. So that's kind of shocking to see, but probably be like their big like May game or June game or something. I could see. I guess technically June would be spring. So yeah, I don't know. I'm not a Fire Emblem guy, but that being on a console would interest me more because I'm not one to play. No, obviously I like my 3DS, but at this point, I don't want to do any of the handheld stuff. So maybe this will interest me a little bit more. Fortnite, that's cool. Like I would be interested in checking it out and playing it on the Switch, and like especially if like Justin downloaded or you downloaded it. But the fact that I can't bring my account over, kind of kills any of the interest for me.
Yep.
Especially because I put like $20 in that game and I still have money on the account that I'd like to use, and it'd be cool if I can cross it over like everybody else fucking does. That's not Nintendo's fault. That's all on PlayStation's side. But hopefully,
it's all Sony's.
Yeah, so I'm surprised that Epic and Sony, nobody's come out about that yet. But I wouldn't be surprised if they do, because I think the Fortnite, the Switch, the Xbox, and the PC all cross-play with each other, which is why the PS4 is separate on its own thing. But I think they at least got to give you the chance to bring your account over. If they're not going to allow, fine, don't do the cross-play stuff. That's fine. You don't have to. You're in a position where you don't have to necessarily do that. But it's just crazy to me that we're not doing that. Or it's not gonna come out soon. Or I wouldn't be surprised if like by the time we record another podcast, they've changed that around. Overcooked. That seems like a cool party game. The fact that it's online is interesting. It's not exclusive to the Switch. It's gonna be on everything. But yeah, I don't know. I think the online part makes it a little more interesting. I've heard good things about it. They've done a lot of stuff to a lot of big changes coming to it that makes it sound kind of cool. Killer Queen Black, that being online. I've heard amazing. I've only actually heard about it a few weeks ago when this first leaked about this game coming out for it. But I went and watched a bunch of gameplay trailers on it and read about it, and I'm like, this game sounds really fun. So like possibly getting it's 4v4. Normally in the arcade it's 5v5, but getting together with some friends playing it or just playing it online, that game sounds really cool. So sounds like it'd be a lot of fun. Hollow Knight, I'm actually interested in that game. It looks adorable as hell. So you got a cool art style. That's usually a easy get for me. It also looks like fun to play. Octopath Traveler, I still don't care about that game, but that's just because I don't care about JRPGs anymore. Dragon Ball FighterZ coming to the Switch. That's cool. It's a really fun game. I spent the first 4.5 years of this podcast hating Dragon Ball Z. Going into the Smash Bros. Part of it. So I don't remember if I said this already, but this was a 43-minute long direct. 26 of those minutes was spent on Smash Bros.
Yep.
So the fact of bringing back everybody is awesome. I actually said when we were talking about things we wanted to see at E3, bringing the Pokemon trainer back was one of those things. So it's now I have to decide if who's going to be my main, my boy Greninja, or the Pokemon trainer, because the Pokemon trainer was my main, and the Wii and Brawl, mostly because I just want to use Blastoise all the time. But that's cool. Snake being back is awesome, just because Metal Gear is my favorite franchise, but I didn't really care for him too much actually in the game itself. I do like the fact that they're going to have only 8 characters available at the beginning, because I think that was kind of what killed. Like I was telling Gables, I'm talking about before. Like I bought the $100 edition of that game for the Wii U, and played it for 6 or 7 hours. But that's because like I think every character except for maybe 2 or 3 was available at the beginning. So one of the coolest things about on Melee was how long it took you to get all the characters. Well, it wasn't cool, but one of the things that driving factors for you was unlocking all the characters. I remember Justin and I and some other friends, a bunch of other friends sitting there playing that game for hundreds of hours on his memory card, my memory card, and like taking it over and helping us grind to get those hours, because that was one of the factors of unlocking characters was how many hours you spent playing the game, or just doing things you have to do to unlock those characters. So yeah, that I like that idea, but the streamlining, I'm curious how they do that. I'm wondering if they're gonna have any like new like side activities, because some of the stuff they brought to the 3DS and the Wii U version, like the Smash Run, there was something else. There's the two new things they brought just were not very fun. They weren't very good. So I hope they get something that's better, or something more interesting. I like that they brought back the story mode thing they did, but I don't see that happening. Anything else about this I really cared about? Game controllers, that's an obvious smart thing to do. That's cool because I spent $40 on that GameCube controller and the adapter, and gives me a chance to get out of the closet and reuse it some more. But I don't really know if it's necessary so much anymore now that the Pro Controller is kind of like, well, I think a lot of people had the Pro Controller for this, or not a lot of people had it for the Wii U. So I think the Pro Controller is just fine. So I don't know if I'm necessarily gonna. I'll pull it out on certain like probably try it once, or like it'd be great. It's great to have like you have friends over playing it. But I don't see myself like really actually using it when I'm playing it in my room by myself or something. But it's just great to have that as an extra controller in case you have friends over or something, or you're going over at a friend's house. Ridley, that thing they've been talking about that. I mean, that's everybody's wanted that since before Melee came out. So to finally get that is awesome. But the when I saw the December 7th announcement, that really took the wind out of my sails. I was like, oh, they had almost like a drum roll going. It's like available, and it just sat there for like, it felt like an eternity, but it was like probably 5 seconds, but it felt like an eternity. And I'm just like, oh man, come on, come on, September. I'm like September 21st, September 24th, something, December 7th. And I was just like, fuck. That's like, I yelled, fuck. The first audible scream out of me of all of Switch, other than me fist pumping like a madman during Doom Eternal. That was kind of like the real like audible, first audible thing for me. So overall with the Direct, the way it just kind of ended, it's just like, oh, it's over after the Ridley thing, which was cool. That's a cool thing to see. But like I said, it was 43 minutes long. 26 of those was on Smash Brothers, and it really got into the weeds of like every little tiny detail. It felt like they had that Direct about a month before the Wii U version came out, and it was like 100 new facts about Smash Brothers for Wii U.
Yeah.
And this is what that felt like. It felt like that.
Yeah,
it was like you could have took 15 minutes of this, cut it out, and had that as part of your Direct. Because I feel like there's got to be another Direct in July or August, going over some of the smaller stuff like Travis Touchdown. They've already said they're going to talk about Yoshi. Where's Luigi's Mansion? Like what's more details about the online part of it. So that tells me there's going to be a Direct probably in August or early September. But there's probably going to be another Direct for the Pokemon Let's Go games. There's probably going to be another Direct for Smash Brothers. So it feels like that part of it, a lot of that, like half of that was like, this isn't for everybody. This is like for the hardcore fans. Like this could have been its own thing where we expect it. This like this what we expect from E3 is completely different than what than I think that kind of inside baseball details than what we'll see when we go into looking at a Direct for ARMS or Splatoon or Smash. I remember last year we were freaking out when they announced that the Direct was only 30 minutes. Yeah. And in that 30 minutes, they stole the show. That was all anybody talked about after the rest of E3 was Nintendo's Direct and Odyssey and all that. Like, they killed it. And that they had the shortest press conference and came out, and that's all anybody wanted to talk about. And this one, it was almost 45 minutes. You probably could have cut down 30 minutes. Probably would have been a little. I think it was a lot higher of it, because I just want. Can we just go on to the next thing? And there wasn't a next thing, and it just kind of ended. I don't know. Like I didn't. There wasn't like necessarily anything I really hated out of this, but there wasn't really anything that kind of like made me excited for the future, for at least the rest of the year. So I'm gonna go with the 7.5.
Okay.
Like I said, part of that is like our fault because we always get over. Like I said before, we always get over. But we do it with every press conference, but especially Nintendo, where it's like, oh, what about this? What about that? What about Animal Crossing? What about
of course.
what are they gonna talk about for Pokemon? Metroid Prime 4. I never really thought Metroid Prime 4 was gonna be here, and if it wasn't gonna be any actual gameplay, more than likely, because it sounds like they're still putting that team together. But yeah, you just can't help but go into it like freaking out about all the stuff you could potentially see.
True.
So yeah, I don't know. I mean, like I said, I didn't hate it, but I was just kind of like, I think ending with December 7th might have been a bad choice. If you could have had one more thing, or had it at the beginning or in the middle and showed us some other stuff at the end, I don't know what you could have done after that, because that was the biggest thing they had for it by far. That seemed like this really was just like Smash Brothers and nothing else. It's like, here's some other stuff we have coming. Like really anything of substance really was Mario Party. That was like in Fire Emblem gameplay. The rest of it was kind of like, it's just there. That's filler. So like they even like talked about the Damon Machina game. There's been no other details out about it. So yeah, I don't know. I'm sure more stuff will come out over the next couple days. But like with the Treehouse stuff, because they have like 6 hours to fill both days.
Oh Jesus.
Yeah, so I'm sure they got to talk about, like last year, right after the Direct, they announced Metroid: Samus Returns for 3DS. So I'm hoping there's more stuff like that happens. But overall, it was fine. Like, it wasn't terrible, but it wasn't great. So that's kind of my final thoughts of it. So before we get out here, Gables, anything you want to add?
Well, honestly, no. I think that about wraps it up for the Nintendo Direct and stuff for this year. for E3. Thought it was pretty good. Thought it was pretty decent in terms of like what it presented. But what's kind of fun is like you and I and stuff. We don't really differ too much like on certain things and gaming stuff. But when it comes to like our tastes in some games in regards to say like the Sony or like Nintendo stuff, it just really just shows.
yeah, that's true. So yeah, it definitely does there. So yeah, I think that's gonna wrap it up for the press conference side of things. Gables and I are about to go record our best and worst E3 and overall thoughts on it.
Okay.
That'll come out in a few days, but that'll probably come out Friday. So I want to thank you guys for checking us out. If you're new to the podcast, thank you guys for listening to us. We do a normal show every week. On usually comes out on Sunday, usually Sunday afternoon. We usually record Saturday nights, and then usually Sunday evening. I'm like, oh fuck, I didn't edit the show, so I usually hurry up and have to go edit the show and get it out there for you guys because there's no way I'm going to do it once the work week starts. So if you're new to the show, come check us out. We typically like I said we haven't missed a week in over 4 years. We've only ever missed 1 week. Thanks for finding us. Hope you guys enjoy what you've heard. Let us know if you're new. Let us know. I've seen some more YouTube views and some more downloads than we've seen recently. So, thank you guys for sticking with us for all this. I know we've had a lot of content lately. It's probably a little difficult to keep up with all the E3 stuff and a lot of the people talking about E3. But thanks for coming and checking out the Common Man's E3 coverage. We are not at the show. Obviously, we don't get paid for any of this. This is just kind of something we do for fun. Thank you guys for listening. We'll be back in a few days with our last thoughts on E3.
See ya.
Bye.